This video is about the work I did in my sketchbook for assignment 2 of my art course. On this page, I talk about my main project called the Gonk board, where I use a repetition kind of element on the design of gonks to change the characters' looks or appearances. This page is about the artist that inspired me called Gustav Klimt, who is a repetition artist. I've always enjoyed his work because of the use of the repetition to make it fill the background and express the picture more. This page is about a task we were set to do in class where we had to design our own vending machine. This machine is inspired by the D&D or Dungeons and Dragons Mimic, which can transform into any object and mimic its appearance, so and lure anyone into a trap that could possibly get hurt. On this page is our second task we were set by our teacher, where we had to help our writer on designing two characters for their book. My designs of the characters are shown on the book. This page talks about the Cowlot artists, which I liked because they design their own clothing. That is country themed and design and make and form their own cowboy hats, which I have purchased from there and personally have myself. On this page, I talk about the Jim Henson Company and who created the company and led the company after the passing of Jim Henson, the creator. On this page, I talk about the Mr. Potato Head design, which inspired me on one of my assignments I had to do for this project, where I had the idea to make a puppet that could be able to change styles and costumes, so you can make it your own character. The Royal Deluxe is an artist page I have in my book talking about the large puppets that they use in France that are controlled by 50 people. I've always liked this because the size of the contraptions, so you can see it from like the top of a building or from far away. These next pages go more towards the final project I did, which was the Gonk board. And here I am zooming into the Viking one, my favourite design on the entire Gonk board. And this is the reason why I talk about How to Train Your Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon, with the three movies I love. Great writing, great storytelling, and all of that. I zoom in onto the storytelling of using of coexist and see how they work. Since it is in Viking times, they still use Viking weapons, although their armor is a bit changed since they use the scales from their friends, the dragons. Sticking with the Viking Gonk idea I liked, I look at God of War. Most recently, the two most recent games, including the DLC, and in these games, they go over Viking gods and their weapons and their beliefs and all of that. And I really like this one because they show off the Viking weapons, even though they are gods now, so they're not as strong as you and I, but more can lift a skyscraper. All the stories go, but they show weapons. For example, Mjolnir, just a normal metal hammer, but it can has power that only one person can lift, or has to be worthy, with enchanted with lightning. Or Kratos' weapon, which is an axe infused with ice to freeze anyone in its way. On this page, it talks about when one of my classmates reviewed my book. It was an interesting discovery to see what they thought of the work I have done so far. There were annotations which I can use now to improve my work to make it even better and to see that how they can understand my book. With the gonk heads on my gonk board that I made, they are technically counted as character creation. So I went to one of my most favorite games in my entire life, Skylanders, where they have tons of characters, about 150 or something like that. And each and every character is different, from a turtle to a dragon to a giant rock pyramid creature. I don't know. They were all magical. I loved it. I enjoyed it, and it always brought me joy. This, for the last page, was talking about Jack Kirby, an illustration artist who made for characters, designed the characters for the Marvel comics. And I used him because since my Gonk things were made with um, acrylic paint and all of that, I used him for inspiration since his colors was quite vibrant, old school, but still an image in your mind to remember. Captain America, his old design, the Hulk, Fantastic Four, always childhood friendly characters that are still getting made this day.